Welcome, everyone, to the very first Formula First Full Tilt podcast. I'm your host, Kegun Morkin, and I'm here with my co-host, Cristian Agostini. And we're happy to finally get the podcast going. We've been planning this for a little while, so a little bit about me. I've been working at the shop here for almost coming up on 4 years, and I started detailing, and now I'm kind of behind the scenes working on social media and different, marketing aspects of the shop. I actually host the Windsor Exotic Car Club, which is a local exotic car club. We do events, meets, rallies, track days, and I'm just a car geek. I'm really into it, and I think you are too. And we're excited to get going. Talk to us a little bit about yourself.
Well, like Kegun said, I'm Cristian Agostini, and I'm the OEM specialist here at Formula First Collision. Been here for going on 7 years now, and loving every minute of it. Like Kegun said, we're both car nuts here, and happy to finally get out on the airwaves and start talking about some cars. What's better than that?
So Formula First is a certified collision center here in Windsor, Ontario, but I'll let Cristian talk about this. He knows it a bit better than I do.
So yeah, like Kegun said, we're a collision repair facility. We're located in Windsor, Ontario, right across from the Detroit border. And we're a certified collision repair facility specializing in all makes and models. And we're certified by brands such as Porsche, Tesla, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, BMW, and many more, which we'll elaborate more so on in the future. But to give a brief synopsis about the shop is we've always prided ourselves on our craftsmanship and quality of repairs, bringing vehicles back to OEM specifications and repairing them how the manufacturer says they should be repaired. So essentially, a repair here in Canada, Windsor, should be the same as a repair done at a certified facility in Italy or Germany or China or Japan, anywhere around the world essentially. And the benefit from this is that you're repairing the vehicle the way it was built in the factory with OEM tooling, rigorous training. Our technicians have gone all over the world for factory training, and we've invested a great amount in the training as well as the tooling, and we have access to all the manufacturer documentations to rebuild the vehicle as it was built in the factory. So somewhere down the line, if the vehicle was to ever get into a crash again, you would know that that vehicle is going to perform how it was engineered to perform in a crash, and not many collision shops repair vehicles like that. So we are the most certified collision repair facility in southwestern Ontario, and we're very proud of it, and we're always growing our portfolio. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I actually got started here I'm an automotive photographer, and I would always come in here back when I was like 13, 14 and just take pictures of the cars that are in here because, even when I first kind of found out about the shop, when the new facelifted Audi R8 came out, they had one here, and I was like, whoa. Like, this place really stands out from all the other body shops. You could eat off the floors. We've got chandeliers hanging in the center of the shop. Like, it really is a shop like no other. And
it's definitely not your typical body shop.
Yeah, we even have a bistro up front, which is pretty cool. I don't know if any other shops in the world have a bistro in their collision center, but yeah, it's pretty cool working here. As a car guy, again, myself, even right now we have the new BMW M3 in that just came out, and it's pretty cool seeing all these cars.
Yeah, it's definitely another perk of being a certified facility is that we do get very current models in the shop all the time, whether it be, like Kegun said, the new M3, or if it's brand new Range Rovers, brand new Jaguars, Porsches, so on and so forth. So it's definitely nice to have the exotics. Mind you, we've always been known to repair exotic vehicles because of our high quality of repairs,
and it's cool too. We don't just do high-end vehicles too. While it's pretty cool that we do them, we do your normal everyday cars too. It's
Absolutely.
Not just about that. Yeah,
I can't count the number of F150 box sides we've repaired.
Yeah, they're all over the shop. It's pretty funny, but yeah, each podcast we want to talk a little bit about the shop and what we do here, different repair techniques and everything, just a bunch of different stuff about body shop repair and everything. And then we want to talk, the car market, new cars coming out, just where the car market is going. But yeah, even let's talk about right now the inflation of the car market. It's crazy right now. Even 997s have gone up like 20-30% in the last year. It's really wild where the car market is going.
Yeah, I think everything's inflated right now, whether it be the classic car market or even the new car market. I mean, you look at these new Ferraris that they're making, special edition Ferraris. I'll use the F12 TDF as an example. What was the list price on one of those cars? Like
Around
600, 650?
Yeah.
You can't touch one for less than 1 million, 1.2.
Yeah. I know I went to a Collie Ferrari, their Ferrari dealership in Detroit, and we were there for a car show about 2 years ago, and they had one for sale for 1.3 million US. Think about it. That car was about, 400 to 500K US when it initially launched, and now it's almost triple the asking price, which is unbelievable.
Well, and then, that's one extreme one way for the ultra high end. Look at a Porsche 996. 3 to 4 years ago, you could pick up a 996 for 25-30 grand, Canadian money, mind you. And now for a nice low mileage example, you're talking $40,000 to $50,000.
Yeah, we were just looking at Auto Trader the other week, and it's crazy. Even I know a local 997 owner, and he purchased his car for around $80,000, and now he can't sell it for under 100, which is unbelievable. The car market is just going crazy. Even with new cars like the 992 GT3, which we're going to talk about in a bit, when those drop, they're going to be over MSRP. Even the C8s, Corvette C8s were
Absolutely
50% over MSRP when they first dropped, which is unbelievable. But I guess, let's get into the 2022 Porsche 992 GT3. So,
very excited to see that car drop.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a fun one. So that was released a couple weeks ago. It's got a 7-speed or dual clutch or a 6-speed manual. It's 502 horsepower from a 4-liter naturally aspirated flat 6. It's basically the 911 Speedster. It's that engine, but like an enhanced, more performance version. It's crazy. This car runs a sub 7-minute Nurburgring lap time, which if you don't know much about the Nurburgring, it's kind of like the benchmark for performance cars now. It kind of all started with the 918 actually.
And for those who don't know, that Kegun mentioned, the Nurburgring is a racetrack in Germany.
Yeah, it's like a 25-kilometer racetrack in Germany, which a lot of manufacturers go to put their car on there because it's such a big track. There's actually different weather conditions all around the track, and it changes every year. So it's kind of like the benchmark for performance manufacturers to test their cars and get the top speed. So the Porsche 918, which was released in 2014, and it's Porsche's like hypercar. Those are going for like $1.5 to $2 million. Like, it's a true performance car. It was the top performance car until pretty recently, and that ran a 6:57 Nürburgring lap time. And the new GT3, which is Porsche's base entry GT model, will run a 6:59, which is unbelievable. It's crazy where it all kind of started with the back and forth between Lamborghini and Porsche. It kind of started with the 911 GT2 RS, and that ran, I believe, a 6:53, and then it went to the Lamborghini Huracan Performante, then the SVJ, and now it's actually the Mercedes-AMG GTR Black Series. But yeah, the GT3 is an amazing car, and actually 70% of the US orders are manual, which is really cool to see because, Porsche actually thought the Americans were lazy and wouldn't want to drive manual, but 70% of them are manual.
Which is awesome to see, It's even nice that they offered this car in a manual, because I know a lot of the high-end manufacturers are starting to get away from that and not even give the option of a manual transmission. So the fact that you can still order a 2022 car with a manual is pretty awesome.
Yeah, being car nuts ourselves, obviously we love driving manual. It's more of an involving experience, and to see that people still want a manual is really cool. I mean, the manual cars are probably going to go way over MSRP, like we've talked about with the inflation, because people just want manual. But yeah, I love seeing that people are actually getting the manual. They want that involving old school experience of driving a car. And, Porsche has been kind of doing that, even with the 911R. That was offered in a manual, and that car the MSRP was around 200,000. They were going for 500,000-600,000 a couple months after they were released because they were manual. People loved that car just because the manual transmission.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to see other manufacturers like, say Ferrari, Lamborghini bring back the gated shifter.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine driving a 488 Pista
with a manual. Yeah, actually, kind of following Ferrari with the inflation. Even so, the F430 was a car back in what, 04, 05, that generation?
Even later, I would say probably like 06, 07.
Okay, so the F430, they released the Scuderia, which is like the track performance edition, which usually go for a lot more than the regular edition, but
2,000 of those examples were made.
Yep, yeah. And then the 16M, there was what?
500,
which is the convertible version of the Scuderia.
That had collaboration with Michael Schumacher.
Yep, yeah. So that was a really popular car, but there was a very limited amount of F430s in manual that were released.
And the F430 was the last production Ferrari to have a 6-speed gated shifter. So it is said that 15,000 F430s were
1,500.
built. 15,000 total were built, and 10% were 6-speed cars.
Which is around 1,500.
1,500, which means that there's about 500 less than the Scuderia version of that car.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it shows because you look at Bring a Trailer and other auction sites that have these vehicles. You could pick up, a 10,000-mile F430 with the paddle shift that typically will go for about 140 to 150,000. You look at the manual version and you're talking about 100K more than the exact same spec with the paddle shift.
Yeah, which is unreal. It's going for more than the Scuderia, which is generally more.
Which shows what, the people want.
Yeah, exactly.
People want the manual cars, which I don't blame them for because myself, I love a manual transmission sports car.
Yeah, 100%. But speaking of a company that doesn't unfortunately offer manuals in their new cars, the 2022 McLaren Artura. So this is actually the first production hybrid car for McLaren. The McLaren P1 and the McLaren Speedtail, those were hybrid cars, but they aren't production cars. The P1 was limited to 375 units, and the Speedtail is only 106. But this will be a full production run. It's 671 horsepower from a twin-turbo V6 with a 7.4 kilowatt-hour battery. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and has a 205-mile-an-hour top speed. So this is kind of in their base model lineup. It'll kind of replace the 570S in their Sport Series lineup. So with McLaren, I've driven a bunch of them, and they're quick. They are very quick cars, and styling-wise, they're beautiful cars. But, yeah, what do you think about that new Artura?
I think it looks really nice. It's a really great-looking car. I do like McLaren as a brand. They make some stunning sports cars, amazing performance figures. They could do a little bit better with the sound, but, it's not the end-all, be-all. But I think the Artura is going to be an exciting car to see, driving around town.
Yeah, I just talked to, actually, we will see one driving around town because one of the people in my car club ordered one. So I can't wait to actually, experience that car, check it out as compared to even previous McLarens or other cars in general. But, yeah, no, McLaren kind of hopped into the scene back in, 2010, but they started with F1 racing, obviously, back in, the 60s, 70s, and then they kind of got into production car back in the 90s with the McLaren F1, which are fetching for over $20 million now. It's unbelievable.
Ultra rare, ultra special.
Yeah, it's actually a three-seater manual. So there's one center seating position and two kind of back behind the center seat, which is, really cool, which actually the McLaren Speedtail kind of follows suit with that. But yeah, so back in 2010-ish, around there, they released the MP412C, and that was kind of their first hop into the production car lineup. And now they're a household name. That in only a decade, they became a household name with the likes of Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, and all those other brands, which is unbelievable for a manufacturer to come up that quick.
Absolutely. Well, it just goes to show if you have a good product, that's all it takes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, their cars are known to be super quick. Even the new 765 LT will do the quarter mile in 9.3 seconds, which is the record for production supercars. So it did over 150 miles an hour in a 9.3 quarter mile, which is unheard of. Even, the Dodge Demon can't even touch that, which is
pretty quick car out of the
box. Yeah, that's meant to be a quarter mile car. But driving a couple of McLarens, yes, again, I agree with you. They don't necessarily sound the best, but the actual driving experience, it's a unbelievable car. They're super smooth. They're super fast, unbelievably fast. And yeah, I'm really excited
unbelievably sexy.
Yeah, they're great looking cars for sure. Definitely better looking than a lot of other. Yeah, they're more exotic looking than a bunch of other automotive brands, which is really cool. And I'm excited to see where they go. But a lot of people did complain about the V6 that they put in the new car. But again, McLarens aren't known for their sound, so it really won't do much in my opinion. I think it's kind of a good step forward for them, really, because it makes their cars faster, which, I mean, they don't necessarily need, but it's pretty cool to see the evolution of the cars and whatnot.
For sure.
Speaking of, evolution, moving into the electric car segment, let's talk about the 2022 Hyundai Ioniq 5. So Hyundai released this car a couple weeks ago. It's their new electric compact crossover, and so Ioniq is like Hyundai's electric sub-brand, kind of like Volvo is doing with Polestar. And so this car, it's beautiful.
It is.
Beautiful
it is
car.
A very beautiful car. Which
is pretty cool to see, They're putting that much effort into like a subcompact crossover, which is, really awesome. It's an estimated 258 to 290 mile range. It'll start around $50,000 Canadian. But yeah, what do you think about EVs in the direction of electric vehicles?
I think EVs are interesting. And I say that because in terms of performance figures and usability, they can't be beat. Maintenance can't be beat. In terms of fun and overall driving experience, I think you can get more from a gas-powered car if you like that. It all comes down to personal preference. But I don't know. If you want to go for a Sunday rip down a back road, I don't know if I would take, my electric car.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing some day-to-day commuting in a busy city or in traffic, that's the car you're going to take.
100%. Yeah. So, as we said earlier, we're both car nuts. So driving a car without the sound is a bit off-putting, but actually I've driven this weekend. I drove the new Taycan Turbo S, which, I wasn't really sold on electric cars until I kind of drove that one. I feel like that's going to be the new benchmark car for electric manufacturers because performance, like even the sound is pretty cool. But
I said, in terms of performance, the electric car can't be beat because it's instantaneous. You have 100% power at the tip of your toes.
Yeah,
whenever
100%.
You want it, and it's instant. It's there. Like I've driven countless Teslas, and it's a totally different driving experience than a gas-powered car.
Yeah, 100%. They're so quick. It literally hurts your chest when you're accelerating in some of those cars. But yeah, we're car guys. We do like the gas-powered engine. We like the sound, but I do understand why we do have to switch to the electric vehicles. But I really do think Porsche is setting a really good benchmark with the Taycan and the direction they're going with that car. And hopefully other manufacturers follow suit with that one because I really do think they set a great benchmark with that car. And I can see that becoming, the standard in the electric car community because it is evolving. It's performance-wise.
Absolutely. And hopefully, these other manufacturers take a look at Hyundai and see how beautiful this car is and follow suit because, the stigma around electric cars is that they're typically, not the best looking cars.
Yeah.
But that's definitely not the case for this one here. And it's
100%.
Quite refreshing.
Yeah. Even with the Taycan too.
The Taycan's another one. That's a really good looking car.
Yeah. And Polestar is doing a great job too with the new Polestar 1 and the Polestar 2.
But that's a hybrid.
The Polestar 2 is actually electric, but the Polestar 1, I drove that this weekend as well. That's hybrid, turbocharged, and supercharged, which is kind of cool. It gives you the gas-powered experience with the instant torque from the electric motors. So because that car is like turbocharged and supercharged, you get the instant torque, and then it kind of pulls with the supercharger and the turbochargers. Like it gives you the whole experience, and it pulls like a freight
Which is kind of
train.
cool. And I do like a hybrid powertrain. You look at some of the other exotic cars that are coming out on the market. Like we'll use the LaFerrari as an example.
Yeah.
Or the SF90.
Yeah.
You get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, 100%.
So you get the nice sound of a gas engine, but you also get the efficiency and performance from the electric motors. So that's also cool.
Yeah, even like
I'm
the
a big fan of the hybrid.
Yeah, the 918 is one of the most, I guess you'd say, eco-friendly cars. They actually did some ratings on that, and it sets the bar really high, which is impressive. You're getting
so there's still hope.
Yeah, you're getting a sub 3 second 0 to 60, crazy track times with a car that's, and a good sound too, with a car that's better or more eco-friendly than, say, your general minivan or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there we have it, our first podcast for the Formula First Full Tilt podcast. We hope you enjoyed.
Thank you all for listening, and check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and check out our website at formulafirstcollision.com.
And all these social media tags are Formula First Collision. See you next time.
Thank you.